Do you remember the 9/11 attack that took place in United States? The September 11, 2001 terrorist attack which hit the United States like a plague. It was referred to as the worst terrorist attack ever experienced, as it claimed the lives of close to 3,000 people. The September 11 attack, commonly known as 9/11, was a series of 4 coordinated suicide terrorist attacks carried out by the militant Islamic extremist network Al-Qaeda against the United States. On Tuesday morning that fateful day, 19 terrorists hijacked 4 commercial airliners mid-flight while traveling from the northeastern United States to California. The attackers organized into 3 groups of 5 members and 1 group of 4, with each group including 1 designated flight-trained hijacker, took control of the aircraft. Their goal was to crash the planes into prominent American buildings, inflicting mass casualties and major structural damage. The hijackers were successful in crashing the first 2 planes into the north and south towers of the World Trade Center in New York City, and the 3rd plane into the Pentagon in Arlington, Virginia. However, the 4th plane, which was intended to hit a federal government building in Washington, D.C., crashed into a field outside Shanksville, Pennsylvania, following a passenger revolt that followed the attack. The first plane to hit its target was American Airlines Flight 11. It was crashed into the North Tower of the World Trade Center complex in Lower Manhattan at 8:46 a.m. 17 minutes later, at 9:03 a.m., the World Trade Center's South Tower was hit by United Airlines Flight 175. Both 110-story towers collapsed within an hour and 42 minutes, leading to the collapse of the other World Trade Center structures, including 7 World Trade Center, and significantly damaging surrounding buildings. At 9:37 a.m., a 3rd hijacked flight, American Airlines Flight 77, crashed into the west side of the Pentagon in Arlington County, Virginia, causing a partial collapse of the building's side. The 4th and final flight, United Airlines Flight 93, was flown in the direction of Washington, D.C. Reports has it that a struggle broke out in the aircraft, and the hijackers crashed the plane in a field in Stony Creek Township, Pennsylvania, near Shanksville at 10:03 a.m. Investigators determined that Flight 93's target was either the U.S. Capitol or the White House. In the immediate aftermath of the attacks, suspicion quickly fell onto Al-Qaeda. The United States formally responded by launching the war on terror and invading Afghanistan to depose the Taliban, which had not complied with U.S. demands to expel Al-Qaeda from Afghanistan and extradite the leader Osama bin Laden. In the aftermath of the attacks, the United States invoked Article 5 of NATO for the first time and called upon its allies to aid its fight against Al-Qaeda. U.S. and NATO ground forces swept through Afghanistan. Bin Laden fled to the White Mountains, where he was nearly captured by U.S.-led forces but managed to escape. However, on May 2, 2011, Bin Laden was located in a hideout in Abbottabad, Pakistan, and subsequently killed by the U.S. military. The September 11 remains the deadliest terrorist attack in human history and the single deadliest incident for firefighters and law enforcement officers in the history of the United States, with 340 and 72 killed respectively. Fast forward to some years later. After Bin Laden's death, Ayman al-Zawahiri, one of the men who plotted the September 11, 2001 attack, took over Al-Qaeda, and ever since, a $25 million bounty was placed on his head. In today's report, however, it is said that the chief terrorist, Ayman al-Zawahiri, is dead. Zawahiri, 71 years of age, was an Egyptian surgeon turned jihadist who was believed to have been the main strategist of several terrorist operations, including the September 11 attacks, as well as being Osama bin Laden's personal doctor. According to reports, a U.S. drone strike killed him at a hideout in the Afghan capital, Kabul. Announcing his death, American President Joe Biden said justice had been delivered to the victims of the September 11, 2001 attacks. Biden said, "This terrorist leader is no more," adding that he hoped Zawahiri's death would bring closure to families of the 3,000 people killed in the United States on 9/11. Findings on the extent of damage records that the attacks resulted in 2,977 fatalities, over 25,000 injuries, and substantial long-term health consequences, in addition to at least $10 billion in infrastructure and property damage. How was it possible to nab such an individual, one who collaborated in such a massive attack? A senior administration official said Zawahiri was on the balcony of a house in Kabul when he was targeted with 2 Hellfire missiles an hour after sunrise on 31st July. The official said, "We are not aware of him ever leaving the safe house. We identified Zawahiri on multiple locations for sustained periods of time on the balcony, where he was ultimately struck." According to the official's account, the president gave his green light for the strike on July 25, and according to the president, there were no civilian casualties in the operation. This is the first known over-the-horizon strike by the United States on an al-Qaeda target in Afghanistan since American forces withdrew from the country on 31st August 2021. U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken on Monday evening said that by hosting and sheltering Zawahiri, the Taliban had grossly violated the Doha Agreement signed in 2020, which paved the way for America's withdrawal. With the death of Zawahiri, has al-Qaeda's activities been put to rest, or will another head emerge over time? Let's hope not.
On Saturday, at my direction, the United States successfully concluded an airstrike in Kabul, Afghanistan that killed the emir of al-Qaeda.